So you're doing Scrum, but are you using the business value field? That's okay, most teams don't, but it's a terrible shame because if you're estimating the effort of work required, you just need the product owner to estimate the business value and you can simply calculate ROI. And ROI is the best field to sort of backlog on. Let's look at a team that is using the business value field. So here we are looking at a team that is using the business value field. This is the very first sprint of a CMS project for a large, busy ticketing system. And like most teams' initial sprints, there's lots of infrastructure tasks here. In this case, they've got things like installing Sitefinity, setting up build servers, and continuous deployment to the test server. And lots of other things that most product owners will not see and many won't even care about. And in this case, we've got 3 business people in the room, including the product owner, Robin. And the business have also provided a technical guy, Andrew, and he cares mostly about things that are related to performance because he needs a really high performance site that can handle a high load on special days. Now this team has never used Scrum, let alone the business value field. Let's check it out.
What we also use though, and this is something that we need you to help us with, is estimating business value. So then what we do is we estimate business value on each story, and business value is obviously the amount of value for the business. Once we've got those two things, we can actually work out a return on investment for each user story.
What it does help over time is it helps developers to think better about the business, what things are going to matter to you and which things don't. And for you, the estimates kind of give you some insight into, the world of pain for the developers, what they've got to get done.
Same scale? Like 1, 2, 4, 6, like is that?
We should keep it at the same scale, yep. Which is, so in doubling numbers, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. And it's all, once again, it's relative. So the idea would be to pick a middle of the road user story and give it a middle of the road value. So make that approximately an 8 and then size everything else out.
They're called anchors. So if you know that if I just get this tiny thing done, it's a value of 1. If I got this awesome feature, that used GPS and alerted them and did something that's huge value, then that's, 32. Then everything in between. And this one is actually going to probably be the hardest time you have to estimate because many of these things are under the covers and to you hardly any business value. Okay, but hopefully with Andrew in the room, he will be able to balance that a little. Okay, because we've just learned high business value to him is high performance. This one. Okay. So you just want to run through the first one? Do you want to do it, Eric? Since you know.
Okay, so create a SSW page. So this is a page where we can just check basic connections if we've got a connection to a database.
If you've ever got a problem with a web page, this is your first stop.
Pretty much the first page you check.
And this is something that we always do at SSW, almost always. So basically when you look down, you'll see tick, tick, ticks. So if something's not working, it's your first port of call to say, it's the database.
It's what our hosting company uses for SLAs.
Right.
So if that page is down for X, that's our first point off. So it performs the critical things and say, yes, you can sell a ticket, basically. So this is very important for me.
So here we have a PBI to create a zsValidate page, and the developers assume that this is just for them and the business value won't be high. But in the discussion, we discover business value this is high because they're going to use it for their service level agreement or SLA.
So what kind of business value would you put on that?
You can take this one.
So it's
it's better if you both estimate and then you, without telling the other person.
Or an 8.
Yeah, I would have said 8.
There you go, 8.
Okay, we'll run with that.
Cool. So setting up Sitefinity for dev, test and production. So that is all about installing Sitefinity. So
I would have thought this was high because it's pretty much the
10,000.
it's a biggie because it's important we get
Andrew,
this right,
use-
isn't it?
Yeah.
But you can
Should
set
we
it up
use-
on one server, obviously, but we wouldn't do
Yeah.
such a polite thing here.
Should we use the cards?
You meant to, yeah. You meant to show cards because otherwise you can influence each other.
Oh,
Let's just say the CEO is in this room
uh-huh.
and he says, "Oh, that can't take more than a couple of hours," and then these guys have to now estimate, and they were going to say it was 16 hours. Now, because the CEO is here, they'll maybe bring their estimate down to, 8 or maybe even 4, so they don't look too bad. And then it's only double what he thought, etc. So if everyone shows their cards at the same time.
So in this case, the team doesn't have any cards to use for estimating, so they're just going to write their estimate on a piece of paper.
I'll give you a sheet of paper each. All right. So Sitefinity, let's just write that down.
So our scale is 1, 2, 4, 8. So doubling 16, 32, and 64. Show?
32.
32.
32?
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, create an event cinemas theme. Eric, do you want to do the explanation?
Well, that's trying to translate most of the mock-up into a Sitefinity skin.
So now we're on to the next PBI, and this is to translate the Photoshop mock-ups into a HTML skin on Sitefinity. It's likely the techie Andrew will not care too much about the look and feel, but the product owner Robin will care a lot about the look and feel.
I'm going to stay with the same.
I said 8.
He doesn't care what it looks like.
As long as it doesn't go down.
Well, maybe.
It's a hello world and it works.
Andrew would probably be right because we already know what it's going to look like ultimately, so I'll scale mine back.
Okay, so you have to get to a point where you.
So do you want
So I'll explain what I had at low.
Yep.
Is because
I understand.
I know we're going to get that, and I want to get the complicated hosting things out of the way. This is probably one of them, but
The best thing about the process when people estimate differently is the discussion. And in this case, a discussion ensures and a re-estimation is done.
It's very high value for Robin to show it to the CEO that it's actually looking nice.
Not in sprint 1 though.
Okay, that's good.
I would have to agree with Andrew.
So maybe it's 16.
Yeah, maybe a 16.
That's wrong for that.
Excellent. So we've got business value 8 for zsValidate, 32 for setting up Sitefinity, 32 for creating the automated deployments, and 16 for the themes. We're still happy with those.
So now let's skip ahead to the last PBI, which is the movie rotator.
Okay, the movie rotator.
But that's that.
Cool.
Oh, you can take that down.
So do you want to show?
4.
Yeah, cool.
I had a 2.
Yeah.
Happy with
Go
four?
for.
Awesome.
We're done.
We are done.
So that was cool, and now we've got all PBIs estimated with business value. That alone doesn't give you the full picture. What you want to do is calculate ROI, and it's an unbelievably simple calculation. ROI equals business value divided by effort. So now, to see the ROI column, click on column options and scroll down looking for ROI. And unfortunately, it won't be there. But that doesn't mean we can't see it, so we're going to have to do it ourselves. You open Visual Studio, you connect to Excel, and we add an extra column, and we just get business value. We divide by effort, then we'll see it. And then you can sort by business value, and you're done. So what we found out from Sprint 1, setting up Sitefinity provided the most value, and the top 5 movies provided the least value. Hopefully you can now see the importance of estimating business value. I have 3 calls to action. The first one is let's make estimating business value not optional. I don't think you're doing anybody any favours by letting busy product owners skip estimating business value. Secondly, if you're using TFS, vote for my suggestion to get a business value report added in the out-of-the-box experience. And 3, let's get it added into the all-important Scrum guide Let Jeff Sutherland and Ken Schwaber know how important the business value field is to you, and also tell them to add it into the terminology section of the Software in 30 Days guide. And here's the business value that was returned to Event Cinemas, Australia's largest cinema chain. Thanks for watching. See you next time.